have your approval to do that? Good, thank you. The next question is about pay, and it's in the name of Assemblymember Twycross.
Thank you, Fiona. Well, London isn't a low-wage economy in the sense that obviously there are parts of overall the London economy is tends to attract higher pay than the rest of the country. But and I think that a Low Pay Commission report in 2015 showed that London has the lowest proportion of minimum wage jobs, 3.1% compared to 5.1% for England as a whole, 9.9% in Northern Ireland. But as you know, we've discussed many times before, I think the minimum wage is not enough for London. I think that we should be going for the living wage, and you know what I'm going to say about expanding that and the numbers that we've achieved, which is good, but could do better.
Yes, and I obviously agree that you could do a lot better on tackling low pay and increasing the take-up of the London living wage, with almost 1 million people in London paid below that. The truth is also that you can done much better to make the cost of living easier for those on low pay as well. And finally, today we've got the truth from a senior member of your team, with Stephen Greenhouse just saying on Conservative Home this morning that he wants London to have the best public transport in the world, but that, however, at the moment, we actually also have the most expensive. And he's actually admitted something that you've been resisting admitting, that the claim fact is that London has higher fares than New York, Paris or Tokyo. Are you concerned, as he appears to be, that fares have gone up over 40% since you came to power and are having a massive impact on those on low pay?
Well, Stephen is entitled to make his points, as you'd expect. I think that the reality is that if you look at what we've done with fares over the last few years, we've held them down, I think, at RPI last year and RPI this year. We continue to have a Freedom Pass enjoyed by all Londoners over 60, which they have nowhere else in the country. Nowhere else do you have. In the morning peak, too, we allow people to travel free on TfL services. We've done that for everybody over 60. We've got concessions for apprentices, we've got free travel for disabled war veterans, armed services in uniform, and we've unlike the previous Labour administration, we've helped everybody who lives in London by reducing council tax, which went up under the Labour mayoralty by 153%. And as I say, we've had an increase in the number of organisations paying the living wage from fewer than, I think it was about 23 when I took over, to 516 today. That's put about £60 million into the pockets of poorer, hard-working people in London. And yes, I think there's more to do. And I'd like to see more firms come forward and pay the living wage. If your question is really about the fares box and how we handle that, then you have to answer what we would do, which investments we would cut, which track upgrades we would scrap, which bus services we would cut.
I think you can list quite a lot, but I think it's quite hypocritical of Stephen Greenhouse to have served in your top team while thinking that your policies are wrong. And on apprenticeship and concessions to apprenticeship,
what he would do.
Do you think it's right that apprentices only get the concession in the first year of the apprenticeship, while the NUS has raised concerns about the need for a better system of support overall in place for apprentices who have to deal with a high cost of living in London overall, and currently are only left with £15.52 a week after paying for travel, lunch and course costs? Would you look at extending that?
Fiona, I will look at that. I mean, I'm not going to make any promise now. A travel concession is something that really has to be wrung out of TfL. We make so many concessions now. You go on a London bus now, I think under half the complement of the bus will be paying the fare. Virtually, the majority of the passengers will be benefiting from a discount or free travel of some kind.
It would be good to look at how you can help apprentices
and so
more.
If you do that, so if you have all the elderly who are protected, young people are protected, veterans, disabled people, then you're putting more and more of the burden on effectively a minority of the travelling public, and there's a balance to be struck.
Okay, the next question.